Now, businesses tend to change radically in the early years, so that a few years after starting up, many look nothing like their initial manifestations. Sometimes this can be because they get market feedback on their concepts, their ideas develop and they pivot. Or it may be that new businesses just don't know what it is exactly that they do and who they do it for. Even professionals like lawyers and web designers, who you would think know pretty clearly what they do, struggle with this. Now, startups, therefore, tend to take time to find their feet. For this reason, I would counsel against spending too much money on anything, be it design, legal fees, or otherwise. As the business gradually achieves clarity about the demand for its goods and services and figures out which services will generate revenues and responds to the market, then its offerings and niche will change. Early phase legal work can therefore often be temporary in terms of the benefits they give. So one problem is how to get access to best practice intellectual property advice so that you can start up your business and projects independently without need to consult lawyers about every decision you need to make as you pivot and change direction. In fact, few businesses can afford to consult lawyers on the intellectual property issues that arise in the very early stages of their projects, such as when they're choosing names or even when they're commissioning websites. Either they don't realize that so many of their actions have far-reaching intellectual property implications, or it's just not feasible to incur legal fees when the project is in its infancy. The mistake with IP is in assuming that you can leave it to one side till later, such as once you have something to protect. You actually need to know how to make good choices, what checks to make, and which provisions to include in legal agreements you should be using very early on in your projects. Now, over the years, Asrites has realized that this requires a different approach to that of consulting lawyers in the traditional lawyer-client one-to-one advisory service approach. So what we've done is to create a way to deliver early support to businesses so they may protect their IP using a process-based system which we've developed. Now, this is known as Legally Branded Academy 2.0, LBA2 for short. This enables people, even those with no pre-existing knowledge of intellectual property, to use the system to protect their IP. You learn what to do at the point in time when you need to learn it. So it's only when a key action is about to be undertaken in a project where there's a need to apply a given process that you need to learn it. So you access and apply processes when you need them and only then. There are different processes depending on the actions that the business is about to take. So, for example, if you have an innovation that you may want to patent, that's when you look at the processes for patents and understand what to do before approaching a lawyer for help. Or if you're about to pick a name and domain name, that's when you watch the videos on names and learn the numerous issues to be aware of. You see, names are a much misunderstood topic, even by highly successful business leaders. There are so many myths and misinformation about naming. Indeed, the need to choose a name so early on in projects leads to many mistakes by business owners. sometimes with devastating consequences for the business. This is just one example of how not having best practice advice and information at your fingertips when you need it can result in poor intellectual property outcomes for the business. Intellectual property has a broad meaning. It includes the knowledge and skills that are to be deployed in the business or project, or which will be turned into a business. It's an umbrella term that includes patents, trademarks, designs, copyright, and trade secrets, confidentiality, and so on. Registration of rights, which people traditionally associate with intellectual property protection, actually comes later, and often people will consult a lawyer at that time. However, by then it may already be too late to rectify the impact of some of the early decisions and choices that people have made. So the best way I can help you is via a 6-week group coaching program that gives you access to LBA2 and 6 Zoom meetings when I will explain how to use the LBA 2.0 system in your business as part of your processes. And you'll then have an opportunity to ask me questions. This is the lowest cost way that we've been able to find for supporting startups. Thereafter, you may buy consultation or different services such as trademark registration. The system gives you a number of the templates that you would need to use, and these templates are made very easy to tailor. So it's only if the other party won't sign that document that you'd need to then consider consulting a lawyer for advice. So this new process-based approach to IP protection is the way to protect your IP on an ongoing basis as your business grows and develops. There's a link to the As-Rights International Limited site below, which is not regulated by the Solicitors Regulation Authority and offers the course combined with coaching from me. So you can put your name on the waiting list if the course is currently closed. It reopens every couple of months, and you will get a discount by registering your interest and will be the first to find out when the course starts. The first step is to buy a license for Legally Branded Academy 2.0 and get some coaching. Then you can always order more licenses for your team and arrange consultancy services if required down the line. Being in business myself means that I understand the emotional, financial, and creative investment that clients make in their own future. So with my insight into legal risk, I'm well placed to offer you this different approach to managing your legal risks and budget. In conclusion, the traditional approach to organizing your legal work might not result in the best deal for you. What we're all about at As-Rights is providing cost-effective and appropriate legal solutions, the sort of solutions that the market needs in order to help you to grow your business on solid foundations. Thank you.